Well, good evening, everyone. Just popped in here, as everyone should know by now, that the site is in fact down, and this will be a line of communication. Everyone who had, as of the other day, registered, I have your email addresses, and I will be in touch with you all as well. Just try to make these calls the best you can. Soon I will have another website up, and I'll advise you of that. I've got a couple other irons on the fire that might help save tens of thousands, if not more, with this this modern day Pearl Harbor. So I'm dedicating time on that, and I mentioned that to a few people. I've got a project I'm doing, and since I talk about, you'll find that when I've got something going on, usually I'm going to talk about it a little bit. And y'all are aware of that. It's going to be a fair exchange of value thing, if not way below, because it's going to help a lot of people. But it's going to be an item that's going to be under $5, maybe at best it will be $6.50, but most likely $5. And there will be a lot of room for the appreciation comes this direction for the creation of it. But it will still be an extremely fair exchange of value. And I'll also show people, if they want to, they can make one at home. But most people will not do that. You know, they prefer to have it mail ordered to them or already made. You know, that McDonald's syndrome we got going on, even for a $5 item. It might be a little difficult for them to find fishnet. But other than that, it's just... It costs more to make one than $5. I mean, to go out and get raw material at $5. This is a unique piece, and it's just going to keep you from touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And so it's going to be wild. And I am seriously going to be trying to get a hold of Mike Lindell, the My Pillow fellow. And we share a lot of common experiences and pathways of the past. And he also is a hell of a marketer, and he has a big, obviously, y'all know him, he has a big reach. And my objective here is to get this out to as many people as I possibly can before it is knocked off, which it will be so quickly, because it is very easy to do. But before they start gouging and jacking it up to high heaven, because it is a very unique thing, and 80% of transmission is done by touching your nose, your eyes, or your mouth. And you curb that in any way. Just get people to cause to pause before they, reflex to go scratch your nose. And before you know it, you're dead. Everybody in your family's infected. Damn it, Uncle Joe. Oh, yeah. But we're going to see if we can curb that. Again, if you want to... it's not that much to do. The total cost on the damn thing is under $10,000 for sure. Maybe if someone wanted to lobby in advertising or what have you, you could do that if you wanted to. You can reach me if that interests you. I do need help distributing this thing, that's for sure. We can talk about that. Radio Days Jane. RamblinRandysRadio@gmail.com. RamblinRandysRadio@gmail.com. That's a plural. Randys. RamblinRandysRadio.com. I flew past Radio Daisy Chain. Wait till we get to that. Several years ago, I was going to set up a network of communities, and we were going to put up repeaters in these cities, and we're going to put up a main tower, and we're going to have people with Bofang radios. If that mud hit the fan, the communities, people would have a repeater on their roof that would have that little city or whateverness hooked together, and then we'd have one a central person who would tie into our main line, which would be a shortwave. And we were going to daisy chain, that means hook together little communities, so we'd be in touch, and we was going to broadcast through Clyde Lewis. And we may revisit that, especially with Pod 2 of this project that we're doing now, is a Ghost Support Meet. If we have 1 million people and we explain what I just did, and we start with the city, That way, if the communication went totally out, you still got your shortwave. You still got your Bofang radio, handheld, walkie-talkie deal that'll go about 5 miles, and you got repeaters close enough to tie you to the next repeater, on and on and on and on until it gets to the river, and the river shoots it up, and we're all in touch. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? So I have a lot of things on the drawing board, but it requires people, not just money. It requires people, and that's what this is all about. This just requires people. That's it, really. They subscribe to an educational course, we'll call it, and then the uniqueness about this is that their subscription amount is turned right around and given back to them, so that they can themselves give away that value to other people, members of our community that provide value that we all want. We're all teachers and we're all students all at the same time. Excuse me. You can't see me, but I dip tobacco. I've been doing it for a long, long time. And so that is a little bit about this evening. Knowledge and numbers is the name of the game. And if you were to have a domain like that, which I happen to, it spells CAN, K-A-N. CAN Society. Isn't that cute? CAN Society. Knowledge and numbers. We'll be all about education. Education is power. Ultimate power is knowledge. That's it. You know, I was thinking about all this stuff. And everybody's in search of God. You know, who's God? Who is the ultimate deal? Well, who created that one? Well, if that one's one, how to get here? And who could blah, 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 blah. All that dog touching its tail business. If you stop and think about that real hard, the only logical thing that you could extract from that would be, if that question was ever answered, you would not exist, because you would merge with the source. You would be one. You would no longer have that ultimate question. Isn't that cute? So, let's just take that and run wild with it and go down the rabbit hole. So, that would mean that our primary purpose to get here, for being here, is to question. And that starts the creation going. You ask a question, you focus on it, where attention goes, next thing you do, got a tree, got a leaf, whatever. You know, it starts from thought. In the beginning was the word. Word's a frequency. You know, a word is an emanation of a frequency that we pick up, and with our little receptors, we turn into whatever you're hearing now. And most people say, man, he's got an accent. That's all I hear. That's all I've heard all my life. But I found that within itself has value, especially when I was in we raised money for drilling packages, and we called New York, we called wherever. And I say, yeah, we're just digging a little hole down here in the dirt, turning it to the right. They have no idea what I'm talking about turning it to the right. Number one, it all sounds real cute, and man, does that guy sound like he's in old business. And I was, but that's just how we talk. And I love hearing New Yorkers talk. They are extremely high-strung, seems to me. And that's just happening in that city. But if you get out there, like in upstate, I used to take the train in from Great Barrington, Massachusetts. I'd go over to Hudson, New York, and catch that Amtrak thing, and it stopped me underneath that Empire State Building. I had me an office up in there. The reason I got this office is we were doing this, the first time they had paid a dial. Remember all that? Well, the first month that came out, I was all over that thing like white on rice, and so your expenses were your what's called trunking distance. It's how far you are from back when T1s was the fastest connection you could get. We needed real fast connections on this thing we were doing, and I went and got an office underneath AT&T's main switch. It was about 40 feet away from the main switch of AT&T in New York City in the Empire State Building, and I was about 40 foot of trunk space. I couldn't get any faster if I'd have had my fingers plugged into the damn thing. That was funny. But I sure didn't like that city. Just way too many people up in there. And I'm always, thinking if the mud hits the fan, I don't care if there's peace on earth and goodwill to everybody's happening. If that many people, someone get pissed and you got a problem getting out of there. I'm not kidding you. So I didn't like that. I like a little space around me where I can move around. So imagine just having a subscription to listen to this rambling business and getting rich doing it. Sometimes the simplest things in life are the most complicated to explain to people. And I've been telling everyone, this is the damnedest simplest thing that people have to do. All you got to do is simply listen to me. How can you say that, Randy? Because I have been way down this rabbit hole, and I done figured out it don't make any difference as long as you've got it cleaned up on the back end of this thing where they can't say, what's that last person going to do? They're going to lose everything. If you could figure out that, you have a key to the gate. I got the key to the gate. So really all you got to do is just listen to me and tell everybody to do the same thing. And listen to the Constitution, understand the rule of law, and watch a couple movies that I want you to watch. And when I get you to doing that, you're going to get pissed off at what they've been doing to you, and you didn't know it. And it took some redneck oilfield hippie to explain it to you, and I'm willing to do it. That's a hell of a yoke to bear. It is, but I'm willing to do it. One nice thing about this is that this thing is recorded. And occasionally when I get in the flow, like it seems I'm falling into now, those things are hard to come by. Because I have to listen to them the next day to figure out what in the world I said. And get this, I don't drink anymore. Now, back in the days when I was drinking, people used to say, my God, man, I can't believe that you said that to those people. And they keep coming back. And it was wild. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think that all of that stuff, personality, traits I have, and everything I've been through. My gosh, if you want, many say write a book, and I go, hell, everybody does this stuff. No, they say, no. They have no, and I say, you kidding me? And some of it, I can see where it's a little bit out there. But, hell, I think you'd gone with me. I mean, hell. But, so all those things have come together for this moment in time. See, I know what's right around the corner. Because at one time, and if it has anything to do with extracting a value from people or something that was totally hedonistic or self-centered, that's what I was all about, a portion of my life. And pretty good at it. And there were several different verticals that I got all tangled up in. Everything from writing code for MLM programs. Whoa, boy, did we ever do well in that thing. What a rip-off that is. I mean, I don't see how I could sleep at night knowing exactly how it worked. It's like Henry Ford told someone one day, and you can look this up, he said, if the general public knew how this Federal Reserve, what they were doing to us, the real truth, there would be a revolution by morning. By morning, he said. But here's the way that they got that thing set up, is once they get this hook set, real good, that means once they got you coming their way, they're pulling your way, and you start getting greased from the program. In other words, you start getting benefits from, even though it's screwing you and everybody else, but you're getting more than everybody else. You're getting an unfair exchange of value right now, and you want to ride that horse. No one's going to quit. Human nature. Human nature. So, we get so far down the road of this thing, 100 years worth of it, and we all work for the company store. I don't care if you hadn't had a job and you're silver spooning it the whole bit. You're working for the company store. It's not yours. It is not yours. And to this very second, it still is not yours. They could nationalize that right there and wipe it out. They could flood, the Fed could flood, not anymore because Yellowhead has commandeered that. Better not say commandeered. But he has pulled that back in under the control of the treasuries. And anyway, I went through that earlier. But they could, if they had the ability to do so, flood the money supply with trillions of dollars, so that everybody would have something to move the money, to move this, keep it moving. But what that would do is everybody that had worked all of their life with those 401ks and all that business, stashed in a bank somewhere, it would be deteriorated down to damn near nothing, if not nothing, if they put so much in there. People think that they're in good shape, they got a good old retirement. My white ass. I mean, you do not. You do not. Because they could pull the wool. And it wouldn't be that they're stealing. What they'd be doing is infusing more money, which, the way that it works, that's cool, but they're stealing from you because they're driving the value of your energy that you put in to store it in that worthless paper fiat money. It's going away. Are you catching my drift now? As Cunningham says, are you smelling what I'm cooking? Just a second. Okay. So, there you go with all that. Let me see here. I'll tell you something else that's got their panties in a bundle, is that they had this thing all rigged out. Listen to this. This is crazy. And I have to kind of think that it might have been the case. God almighty. What if it is? Let me run this past you. And I think that there's a good chance that they might have had this. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Let's just say that Hitler had got in there. Okay? Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Now, since she didn't, we've seen her side, a little bit of her side. And by the way, I don't even think that's her body anymore, people. When she stepped off that curb here back in 2016, headed to that limo deal, and she went like Gumby. She went limber all over. There was something wrong with that lady. And that guy kept following her around with that little medicine bag, like they used to come to your house. Probably never had that happen, but the doctors used to come to your house. Had that little bag, and their life expectancy in the hood would be about 30 seconds with that bag nowadays. But anyway, where was I at? It's so funny. Oh Lord, it's a big mess, big mess. Yeah, they could inflate. They still got the hook, but he has taken control of that Fed. That's what I've been waiting on for so long. I didn't think that anybody would ever. How could you? You should. It's impregnated. Every single thing that we touch is involved with that system. So in order to unwind it, you'd have to unwind us, really, because it's so entrenched. But if in fact you were to simultaneously at the same time eradicate the current dollar as we know it, but I'm saying nothing's changed, they hadn't burnt nothing up or nothing yet. By eradicate, I mean you would cause it to be neutered and neutralized as far as an instrument of value, and you would have to at the same time forgive. By doing so, you would forgive every debt on the planet, be it a mortgage, car note, college, big corporations that people, other companies owe them billions of dollars, all cleaned off the books, gone, G-O-N-E, toast. You take the hard assets that you prove up were stolen, hard assets, gold, silver, things of that sort, hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of stuff, and you repatriate it. You reissue a new currency based on a fixed dollar amount like they did back then. I'm not talking about the spot price. I'm talking about the fixed price where it comes to your currencies pegged to, like they had it back in the day. It was, I think it was 20 bucks. No, it's 30 bucks. Something like that. 40, I think it finally tapped out at. You peg it to a tangible asset, probably gold. If they try to move toward the blockchain, the Bitcoin deal, no, let's just go ahead and get the torches and light them up, because that's just stepping out of the frying pan into the fire. There could be a way to use the blockchain and its security in the ability to be innumerable, meaning supposedly impenetrable, which is a joke. Just give the human mind a little time to think about it, and they can figure something out. Time machine, whatever. But the blockchain could be used in the form of when a nation state, or there was a large transaction that was involving nation states, citizens wouldn't have to worry about all that. And shouldn't have to worry about the government giving a rat's ass, because it's none of their business. They're there to run the show and protect us, and we'll ethically run ourselves. Thank you very much. We'll have well, anyway, back to the money side of it, is that then you peg it to a hard asset, and then you set your nation-state budget and all that stuff, but then you couldn't go outside of your budget unless you pulled in, you had reserves of your hard metal or whatever your hard commodity asset would be that you're pegged to. And that way you wouldn't have black ops out there getting funded with little digits that don't exist. The things don't exist. But they can exchange those things and get things that go boom boom and everything else, and no telling what else. But if you pull the plug on all those digits, I'm talking about wipe it out, you can't buy nothing with it, they're sitting there limp with holding it in their hand, and they're just sitting there going whoa 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 whoa, but they're going to have to swing wide and pay the piper. And that's the only way I can see it. That's the only way I can see it. But that's just me. They may have a different idea. But if you do not completely disassociate yourself with a centralized banking system, and the nation states don't have their own GDP, and the value of what they call their currency represents what they're holding, and they can back it up with that asset that we, by the way, have value. We have a reason to consider it valuable, where we could repo it in the event that they don't, we'd have backup. What I'm saying. We don't have any backup now. Oh God. We offer them backup. What we do is go to these countries and we stir up all this stuff like it's happening to us right now. Used to, back when I was growing up, it was like other countries are hitting their head and yourself in the head with rocks and stones. They're all fighting amongst each other. And it was like they're in a fishbowl. And we're looking at them. Well, guess what? We're in a fishbowl now. Oh, good God. It's done turned on us. I never in my life ever thought I'd see something like this. Never. So, this can be turned around, but it's going to require knowledge and numbers. And I say that I'll be saying that every night. All that we're doing is building a community that, number one, has common theme in mind. We're seekers of sanity. We love the country of the United States and believe in its Constitution and the rule of law, as stated. And we understand, after watching some movies and our other members educating us, that the current banking system has got to go. That's all that we're in harmony with here. And by doing so, we all make a commitment to when we have questions, all of us, and one of our members brings the answer, we reciprocate for the value we gain from that answer and the hard work that they did. And we show them a token of our appreciation with a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter of our own internal little currency, if you will, which can be redeemed for gold, silver, Bitcoin, or back to worthless paper fiat if you haven't caught on while you've been hanging around here. That is, if anything's in tricky territory and could be considered risky, it'd be the U.S. dollar right now. But yet, it's looked at as, look at it, because that's all that they know. It's archetypically embedded that that's the horse to ride. Because everybody's getting greased. The people that are getting greased are the ones that keep saying, let's ride this baby, until their legs fall out from underneath it. Then let's hide. Blame it on somebody. That's what's happening, but it's not happening real well for them, thank goodness. And what have you. I think that we'll do a wrap on this at this point. Let me see if there's anything else. Just come back tomorrow evening or when you can, and I'll update you on the website, and I post over on obviously on YouTube, and I will put my Twitter deal over there so you can follow me on Twitter. All I usually do is just repost these videos that we're watching. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you watch the rerun on this deal, or whatever you call it, the replay, you're going to see these are great videos that you need to watch with Rex, and also there's one that I want to show y'all that is it's dead on. It is David hit the nail on the head. X22 with this one right here. This one, the red line means I watched it. I haven't watched this. I'm going to watch that in just a minute. The transfer of wealth has now boomeranged. Watch this one. It tells the story. Also, please, for your own self, if you're a seeker of the truth, and understand what's going on, watch this one. We're going to have these people as they're going to be major players in this whole deal. I'm going to get a hold of them. Watch this one. And have you ever watched this movie, The 12 Monkeys? You might want to watch that again. How prophetic it was, even though I don't like Brad Pitt. So watch this one. It's over on X22. On truthstreammedia.com, truthstreammedia.com on YouTube. Subscribe to them, as well as X22, Rex Bear, and SGT. Now, XGT, Dave over at SGT, he is, I wouldn't say diametrically opposed to some of the things that Dave is saying on X22, where X22 feels that the white hats are in control, and which I have strong feelings that it is an orchestrated moves that are being made that are upstaging those of the globalists, the bankers, and I firmly believe that we have the upper hand now. That's what Dave of X22 feels, as I do not. Now, Sean here on SGT report, the SGT report on YouTube, he's ready to see him swing from the yard arm, everybody, and it's not real sure where anybody can see any bright goodness that's happening, because there's no one swinging. There's a lot of meat on that bone too. I mean, I can see both sides, but what Dave is going to have, what Sean's going to have over here on SGT, and I'll try to keep y'all posted on these calls. He mentioned last night, or on one of his calls, might have been this endgame deal. Yeah, it was with Crow on there. On this one right here, he's going to talk about how he's having Dave from X22 report, who's very talking that the White Hats are in control, the Patriots, and Dave is a little bit concerned whether or not he is or not. We are or not. They're going to be talking on the same show sometime this week, and I'll keep y'all posted on that. That's about all I've got for this evening. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll meet back over here, and if you can, try to bring someone over. We will be just learning. Just a small group of people will be learning. Bring as many as you can that you want them to learn during this precious time of things being slow. Because when things get busted wide open, it's going to get hard to see through all the energy floating around here. So y'all go out, finish the rest of your weekend. Doesn't every day seem like Sunday, and tomorrow is supposed to be work taking place, and it doesn't happen, and so it's like Groundhog's Day every day Sunday. It's weird. This is very, very strange times, but there's such wonderful times for opportunity as well. We happen to be in a place, not that we're looking to do this to prosper from it only, to help others. Both things I'm doing now with the face shield thing and with this project here. If you're interested to look, get involved in any way on that face shield deal, be it repping out somewhere or, throwing a little in the kitty, which doesn't take much, and riding with us on the big haul. We need help on all that too, because we need to get these things out where this thing quit spreading. And this thing will stop it from spreading, and it'll be cheap to do. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. God bless each and every one of y'all. Go out, have a wonder-filled day tomorrow. It is by choice. And remember, once a person who has been honestly mistaken all their life, no fault of their own, learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. What say you? This is Ramblin' Randy. This call is a wrap. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.